Hello and welcome to this interview segment. My name is Mustafa Muhammad. I will be talking to the Honorable Minister of Work, Architect Mike Onolememen. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Mustafa.
Sir, you have been inspecting and flagging of some roads across the country in recent times. Can you tell us the economic importance of some of these roads you have flagged up for rehabilitation and construction, especially in the southeast?
Well, you agree with me clearly that the Southeast has been underserved in terms of road infrastructure in the past 1 decade in this country. And as a major economic hotbed in the country, we needed to quickly address this particular shortcoming to facilitate commerce in the country and thereby empower our people, irrespective of where they are, because you notice the trend is for Nigerians from the various zones to always face the southeast in terms of commerce. I mean, the largest market, one of the largest markets in Africa is the Onitsha market, and our eastern brothers too are very entrepreneurial. They are very businesslike, and we needed to also open up the place so to ensure that we have many links to the southeast. One of the roads we've just flagged up, which is the Obrute, Umunde, Akmaya, Odolo Road, linking Enugu and Kogi State. It's an interstate road, and the road is linking a number of agricultural communities and linking towns and villages on that corridor. That is between the people of Kogi State and Enugu State. We have been able through this project to bring them closer together. And it is a thing of joy because roads unite communities, they facilitate movements of goods and services, and open up agricultural communities to the marketplace. And once you do that, one of the key things you will achieve is to ensure that even the farmers themselves become empowered. And that is what we talk about when we talk about transformation. Transformation is about the empowerment of the people. And in this case, the agrarian communities on that particular alignment will be empowered by that project. So to that extent, it's of immense economic value to our country.
Locally, you have been in some parts like Oshombo in Benue. Can you tell us more?
Well, for us, generally, as an administration, one of our objectives in the transformation agenda is to ensure that we're able to facilitate movement of goods and services between one part of the country and another. And since we came in, we've prioritized our program. First of all, we want to ensure that we're able to link the 6 geopolitical zones with dual carriageway so that Nigerians will be able to travel from one geopolitical zone to another in an unbroken chain of dual carriageway. That project is ongoing, and it is a project we will deliver on. We are upbeat that by the first quarter of next year, we'll be delivering the Abuja-Lokoja Road dualization project. We'll also be delivering the Onitsha-Enugu one. Already we have delivered the Onitsha or the dual carriageway, which will be commissioned shortly. And by the end of next year, at about the end of next year, we'll also be delivering the Kano-Meduguri dual carriageway. And we have just commenced work on the Lokoja-Benin dual carriageway, which will, in essence, connect the dual carriageway from the east, the ones from the west with the ones in the north. And when that happened, Nigeria, for the first time, will truly enjoy the dividends of the transformation of the road sector in this country.
And now, in the past, we had contractors collecting money, abandoning the job halfway or not doing it at all. Now we have contractors increasing the pace of work, which is kind of very unusual looking at the precedents of Works Ministry in the past. What exactly have you done to bring about this change?
Well, we've tried to do things differently. First of all, we needed to let the contractors have our confidence. And one of the first things we did when we came on board was to engage the contractors in a very constructive manner. We engaged them. I mean, we told ourselves the home truth. Where they were not doing well, we made it known to them. Where we as a ministry were not doing well, they made it known to us. And we decided to start on a clean slate. And we made it clear to them that we were not going to accept any sharp practices, and that what they needed to do was to remain focused on their projects, and particularly on standards and specifications. And that once that is achieved, on our part, we'll be willing to meet with all our obligations. In this case, which is the payment of interim certificate due to contractors. In fact, it is on record that a year after I took over as Minister of Work, I was able to clear the backlog of outstanding interim certificate on performing contracts in this country. And that is why today, if I ask a contractor, move on to that location, they believe that yes, before the Minister of Work could give such an instruction, he's ready with the finances to make requisite payment as at when due. And I have been doing that, and I have truly brought about a new lease of life in the ministry, because today, Nigerian contractors working with us at the Federal Ministry of Work, today they get paid even without their knowledge. They only get to know through bank alerts. I mean, that was something unheard of in the Federal Ministry of Work before now. And that has really, given them a lot of confidence to go on with the work and all that. And it's paying off. In fact, that is why you have so many of our alignments, they are getting better and better by the day.
The scorecard you presented at the Federal Executive Council, Nigerians will want to know, how did it go?
Yes, last Wednesday, by the leave of Mr. President, I presented my scorecard as Minister of Work this past 2 years. Let me put it that way, because the administration will be about 2 years old in another 30 days. And it was quite revealing. In fact, the Federal Executive Council applauded my presentation because of the phenomenal progress we've been able to make in the road sector this past 2 years. And to God be the glory, because time was when the Federal Ministry of Work was said not to have been able to complete any project. But during the scorecard, I listed 32 projects we have completed. And the commissioning of the project will commence by the beginning of, in the first few days or weeks of May, which is just a couple of hours around the corner.
Honorable Minister, while you were on the news all the time, flagging off and inspecting roads, the governor of Edo State, your home state, alleged that you have influenced the election and voting pattern in the local government you came from, Asian Northeast local government, and as a result, he claimed led to the cancellation. The governor also alleged that the commissioner of police gave you so many mobile policemen. Can you shed more light on this allegation? How can you react to that?
Well, for me, it is very laughable, because I have always believed that those who occupy high offices in the land should bring to bear on their office their integrity. And because you cannot divulge morality from governance in this part of the world. And so if you are occupying any high office, it is incumbent that at all times you speak the truth to the people in the letter and spirit of the national pledge, where you pledge to Nigeria to be faithful and honest, among others. And I expect the governor to be very honest to the people of Nigeria. Number one, I didn't participate in the election. I had come to Uromi on the 18th, precisely to participate in the election of the 20th. But unfortunately, it was clear to us that that election was not designed to be free and fair. I mean, how else could you explain, as a voter and as a leader of the PDP in my local government area, I came to the polling booth at level, thinking that by then the process would have commenced, because I was aware that about 10:30, the people from Benin, from Esiek, they were already at Uromi. So the agent told us, and we went to our various booths, and I went to my booth. After waiting for 2.5 hours, it was about 2 p.m. There was no voting material, no electoral officers. So I put a call through to our agent, who said they were still at the police station at Uromi, and that something was amiss. I said, what was it? And he said, some of the result sheets and ballot papers they were given at SCEC office in Benin were missing, because our agent was a very competent agent. He's a lawyer by profession, so he knew his onions. And he insisted on checking all the electoral materials before being dispatched to the various polling booths. And he discovered the fraud. So at that point, after waiting till about 2 o'clock, I decided to see for myself what was going on at the police station. And I went to the police station just with my official convoy. And I met the security agents, the security officers, the DPO, the head of the State Security Service, and the civil defense. I said, what was the problem? And I was told that between Benin City and Uromi, somebody somewhere removed some of the result sheets and some ballot papers because they were serialized. And our agent, who is a lawyer, discovered that some were missing. And he insisted that they must be found and replaced before these materials are distributed to the bull. And I said, well done, that is the right thing to do. And I said, well, until that is done, once they're able to get the paper, of course, voting could start. And I left there to the field again. I didn't even waste time there. And my VIP police that were with me are policemen from the VIP protection unit, the blue beret people. They are not mobile policemen.
You are not given any policeman by the commissioner?
As a matter of fact, I do not, if I see the Edo State Commissioner of Police today, I will pass him because I don't even know him. The only incident that brought me close to the commissioner happened on Thursday the 18th when I arrived in Uromi. In the evening of that same day, I got a report from my village where the honorable member representing my constituency also hails from, and called me that an ACN chieftain in my local government area disrupted, a house-to-house campaign that was mounted by the PDP candidate in the World War II. They were firing guns. He had about 7 mobile policemen. They collected the pellets of the expended pellets that were fired. They collected them. And the honorable member put a call through to the commissioner of police, who said he didn't give any policemen to any chieftain of the ACM, but these policemen were identified, and the commissioner dispatched a team to find out who they were. These 7 policemen were traced to the mobile policemen in the government house pool in Benin City.
Now, still on the governor's allegations, he also said that your community, Uromi, and your local government area, the Ishan Northeast, were mobilized by your party. Of course, we know that's okay. But he also said PDP had prevented electoral officers from conducting the election perfectly. He also said the ACN would have won since they have won in the previous election in Edo State. How do you react to that?
Well, let me say these are also tissues of lies. Number one, by divine intervention, I was unable to go home on Tuesday to participate during the Wednesday election because of what you said a while ago. I was making my scorecard presentation to the Federal Executive Council. Of course, I'm on national assignment, so that takes precedence because I couldn't keep the president and the entire Federal Executive Council members waiting. And true to time, on the appointed day, obviously, the ACN card-carrying members who were appointed as returning officers obviously had instructions from their masters that once you see the PDP winning, disappear from the scene so that the election will be inconclusive. On that very day, it is on record that the PDP supporters and candidates were determined to vote and protect their votes. That was precisely what happened. And they voted, they protected their vote. The ACM rigging machinery could not do anything about that. It is on record that a number of thugs and cultists were arrested on that day, information reaching me. And those thugs that were arrested on that day and the cultists are all ACM members. I challenged the state governor to ask the commissioner of police to come up with a list of people who were arrested on that day with guns and ammunition. One of them, in fact, one of the former ACN Transition Committee chairmen, to a ballot box. He was also arrested. So what are they talking about? I'm talking about winning. They would have won. ACN have never really won in my senatorial district. It is on record that in 2007, the PDP returned the only senator in my senatorial district, the 2 Federal House of Representative members, and the 6 members of the State House of Assembly. In 2011, when Governor Shomole had sway in the government house, PDP again returned the only senator in my senatorial district, returned the 2 Federal House of Representative legislators, and returned this time 5 out of the 6 House of Assembly. So, I mean, where is it basing their superiority in my senatorial district on? These are facts. You can check it out.
On social media, Facebook, Twitter, and others, there are a lot of reports that the election in your place was cancelled because PDP was winning. But the governor also alleged that your party rigged the election and introduced violence. What is it about this violence? We actually heard that a PDP member was shot and killed at Fuga before the election.
Let me tell you, there were some pockets of violence in other local governments, certainly not in my local government area. Again, by divine intervention, it was the only election that was held on that Wednesday, and it involved very senior security officers in the state. The commissioner of police was on ground. I understand that the head of the immigration was also on ground, and the head of the civil defense was on ground. In fact, I understand that one of the wards where the issue of courtesy and thuggery was manifest, or rather was manifested during the election, was Ward 5. And I understand that the commissioner of police repaired the talks and decided to personally supervise that election. He remained there until the election was concluded, and PDP swept all the polls there. Look, our people, our history is a long one, politically. The people are very politically aware, and they are very ready to die for their belief. Maybe they were underrating our people. Our record goes back to the time of the Benin massacre, when the British military men came and they overran Benin City and its soldiers. It is on record that our traditional ruler then, Ogbede the Great, was the only traditional ruler that stood shoulder to shoulder with Obavarame in Benin, and at the end of the day, two of them were deported to Calabar. I challenge them to go and read the history book. They will see it. And that's a community that have produced maverick politicians like Chief Anthony Nahuru of blessed memory. It's also from that time. And these are the people who have been doing the politics with them. Chief Tony Anene, the chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, is also from that time. And yours truly, myself, the Minister of Work, I'm also from that time. Our people know us. In fact, you saw what happened during that election of Wednesday. I didn't even have to be there to win an election for my party in Uromi. Look, if the governor, even if this election is repeated 10 times, provided it is free and fair, we will win any day. I mean, the track record is there. So let us call a spade a spade. I believe that Governor Shomole has really disappointed not just me, but quite a number of people in Edo State and Nigeria in general, because he was looked upon as an avowed apostle of one man, one vote. But a very elementary test of that apostleship, he didn't pass it. He failed woefully in that elementary test of the mantra of one man, one vote. He didn't live to the spirit and letter of that mantra, one man, one vote. And that is why there's riot every day going on in Edo State, from Uromi to Auchi. Yesterday, I understand there was a big riot in Auchi. People protesting for the barefaced robbery of their mandate. You cannot trample the will of the people, certainly not the will of my people, because they are politically educated and up to date, and they will certainly not allow their will to be trampled just by a rampaging chief executive of a state.
There is a particular member of the Edo State House of Assembly who was posted on social media when he was arrested with a rifle on election day in Auchi. Some opposition members are saying that the Honorable Member Abdulrazak Momo, who is representing Ethako, one constituency, is an ACN member. But then the allegation of the ACN chairman in Edo State is saying the guy is working. How do you react to that?
Well, I think for the ACN in Edo State, I think lies have become their second nature. Telling lies have become their second nature. Otherwise, how would you say that an ACN member who is currently serving in the House of Assembly, just because he was caught with gun, you now say that he was working for the PDP? I mean, that is standing logic and it's sad. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. As a party leader in the state, I don't know that honorable member. And since he's from the governor's constituency, of course the governor fought for him to be member of the State House of Assembly during his election. And let me tell you something. I mean, I have been in politics for a long time now. And I can tell you, particularly in my part of the country, we are not given to thuggery and courtesy. It is not in my nature. It is not in my character. I will certainly will never associate with anybody of that kind of tainted character. But you see, in all this, it is clear between the PDP and the ACN who is perpetrating violence. But what bothers me in all this is that all the gains that the federal government, under the leadership of President Goodluck Jonathan, have made in terms of electioneering, in terms of credibility and transparency of electioneering, Edo State governor and Edo State government, with their essay, just fretted that away, to the extent that our people now no longer believe that it is possible to have a free and fair election. That is the greatest injustice a beneficiary of a federal election that was transparent can inflict on the people of this country. It is unfortunate.
Almost all these states in Nigeria, the state governors have a way of making sure that no matter how much the opposition parties participate, the ruling party in the state wins. And this can be attributable to the control of the State Independent Electoral Commission. What do you think the new constitutional amendment should do with that?
Well, from what we have seen, clearly, if we want to deepen democracy and democratic values in this country, we will call for one independent National Electoral Commission for this country. That is the National INEC, to administer all categories of election. After all, it was INEC that conducted the gubernatorial election to the State House of Assembly. They can just go a step further and do the same for the third tier of government, the local government.
What do you think are the options actually open for the PDP in Edo State?
The PDP in Edo State has spoken, but specifically PDP in my local government area, the Northeast local government area, they are clear on what their options are. Number one, they have voted. They have voted their candidate. So the onus is on the governor to announce the result of that election. Asking 9 out of the level returning officers to disappear just because you didn't want to announce the result, even when you know that that election was free and fair, is a disservice to this country. I mean, the security agencies, I'm sure, must have their reports about those elections because, like I said, I wasn't there, but we heard about what happened. The world is fast becoming a global village. What transpired that day on Wednesday in Uromi is on YouTube. Go to the internet. It's on YouTube. It's on the internet. Unknown to them, there are educated people there. So they recorded these things and put them on the internet. So it is there for everybody to see. No amount of lies on TV can vitiate the veracity of what happened on that day, last Wednesday.
Certainly, when this governor's tenure finishes, PDP will contest for the governorship in the next general election in Edo State. What do you hope to see happening during this election? Because this local government election crisis is actually a bad signal, like you acknowledge. Yeah, for us, the People's Democratic Party, we believe that in fact, the worrisome thing in all this is that this election would have given opportunity for Nigerians to know how much goodwill the governor of Edo State have fretted away since he was voted into power. There's a lot of disenchantment in the state because, one, he single-handedly picked all the chairmanship candidates in ACN. In fact, many of them defected to PDP even before this local government election. So everybody have one complaint or the other. So as we speak, there is a reorganization and regrouping going on in Edo now. How it will end, I cannot say for now. But I believe that when the time comes, certainly there will be a new force and there will be new thinking. And I believe that at the appropriate time, the leaders of the state will come together and chart the way forward. So the story of defections from other parties, including the ruling party in the state, to the PDP is actually true?
It's true. In fact, in the PDP, we've always had that in the past 8 years, or rather in the past 6 years, or five to 6 years, people who felt that they couldn't be in opposition had to gravitate towards the ruling party and all that. But now we now have a situation in our hands where people who are even in the ruling party in the state are leaving because of the high-handedness of the executive governor of the state. So there's a lot of movement going on right now. Like I said, it's still not quite clear, but I believe that as we move forward, it will get clearer and clearer. There are a lot of movement springing up in the state right now. People are itching for good governance. People are tired of this propaganda machinery of the present government and governor of Edo State. And they live the reality. So they know where it pitches because they know where they should pitch because they live the reality day in, day out. And there's nothing you can tell them. It's not about telling somebody a story from a faraway land. This is their daily experience they are living in. So the onus will be on them at the appropriate time to do the needful.
Finally, what's your word for the PDP in Edo State and indeed the people of your local government where these things
Well, the people of my local government, I will first of all want to thank them for standing for the truth and for daring to defend their vote. They've shown very good example in the state. And to the state PDP, I want to encourage them not to be bogged down by what is going on in Edo right now. It's just a passing phase. Rather, they should focus on reorganizing the party in such a way that the party will be very formidable to take on opponents in future elections.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Works, Architect Mike Onolememen. We have to draw the curtain here. From me, Mustafa Muhammad. Do join us again another time and have a wonderful day.